intros. I'll give you play games I've already beaten. I got all the achievements on this game for PS4. Alright, so we are back in... Whoa, there we go. We are back in Dragon Age Inquisition. I believe we had just come back to town for the very first time since the tutorial. And yeah, let's see what we can find here. So last time we were able to run around, we did not actually have like free reign of the place. We were funneled to go to a certain place, and then that was that. Special shipments? I don't know if that gave me anything. BioWare just laid off a bunch of writers? Really? I hadn't heard about that. I've heard a lot of stuff about Unity on gamer circles the last 48 hours. I'm worried about it because Andromeda and Anthem were the last two games. Oh wait, what's this? Andraste's Mabari. You know Andraste's old Mabari, he don't show up in the chant, and if you ask those holy sisters, well, they'll say Andraste can't. He'll have had some big old smelly war dog, but all Ferelden knows it's right. Our sweet lady needed someone who would warm her feet at night. And there's Andraste's Mabari by the holy prophet's side in the fight against Aventer. That dog would never hide. They say the Maker sent him special, always loyal without pride, so he could be the sworn companion of the Maker's holy bride. Oh, that dog, he guards Andraste without arrogance or fear, yet he only asking of his mistress just to scratch behind the ears. But then old Mafrath gets to plotting, tries to lure that dog away, but even as they trap the prophet, her Mabari never strays. And there's Andraste's Mabari by the holy prophet's side in the fight against Aventer. That dog would never hide. They say the Maker sent him special, always loyal without pride, so he could be the sworn companion of the Maker's holy bride. Oh, they thought the wounds had killed him, but then he limped out toward the fire, and Hissarion he shed a tear as that dog laid on the pyre. And wow, this has got dark fast. And there's Andraste's Mabari by the holy prophets. Oh, that's the same chorus. Popular, if historically unlikely, Ferelden tavern song. Okay. A song about a lady who was burned at the stake, and then her dog climbed on the fire to die with her. What's going on here? I'll look at that later. What's up?
If you're here to clean, Hess can get you a bucket and a broom. Anyone calls you knife here, come to me. Oh, you're him. Thren.
I'm important. You can't make me clean.
I'm doing what I can to supply this mess. If you find what I need to fill one of my requisitions, I'd appreciate you bringing it in.
Tell me about it.
What did you mean when you mentioned requisitions?
I'm making this Inquisition run with what we have, but we're not a real army. We're stretched thin on materials, so I've put up a requisition list for anything that could help our people. Here, take a look. You find some iron and a good logging site. Maybe Harriet can get our troops better weapons.
If I have material for a special order, do I bring it to you?
Just take it over there. One of my boys will take the materials or will jot down what you found.
One of my boys.
What do you do here?
I'll make sure the Inquisition troops have food in their bellies and iron in their hands. Both are important. Lots of people expecting us to be heroes, marching all day to fight the demons. Turns out heroes need to dig latrines just like everyone else.
Are you telling me heroes poop?
Farewell.
Make a go with you.
I thought heroes don't poop. Dwarf has one says find a logging stand.
Did you find anything we need?
Okay. Hey, Liliana!
Blessed are the peacekeepers, the champions of the just. Blessed are the righteous.
Liliana's one of my favorite characters in the total series.
In their blood, the Maker's will is written. Is that what you want from us? Blood? To die so that your will is done? Is death your only blessing?
You speak for Andraste, no? What does the Maker's prophet have to say about all of this? What's his game?
How is this a game?
Do you see the sky? What about the temple ruins? The bones lying in the dust? Even if you didn't support the Divine's peace, you wouldn't call this right. Who could? So many innocent lives. The faithful murdered where the holiest of holies once stood. If the Maker willed this, what is it if not a game or a cruel joke?
Super Rider says, I like Dragon Age because it's one of the few fantasy worlds where elves are treated like trash. Oh my god. 1, yikes. 2, I think there have been a few others.
Don't ask me. I'm as baffled as you are.
You probably don't even worship the Maker. Lucky. He asks a lot. The Chantry teaches that the Maker abandoned us. He demands repentance for our sins. He demands it all. Our lives, our deaths. Justinia gave him everything she had, and he let her die.
Maybe you should be angry at the people who murdered her?
If the Maker doesn't intervene
The tone of
the
voice.
best of his servants, what good is he? I used to believe I was chosen, just as some say you are. I thought I was fulfilling his purpose for me, working with the Divine, helping people. But now she's dead. It was all for nothing. Serving the Maker meant nothing.
Maybe you have another purpose. I could help you find it.
No, this is my burden. I regret that I even let you see me like this. It was a moment of weakness. It won't happen again. Come. To work, then. We will speak later.
Muck, wait intent after. Wait intent after? My guy still looks like he's got a barrel around his waist.
It's true. Butler has stand on us. I hope my hunch was wrong.
You mean well?
Not as well as I thought. Show me the reports.
Butler has turned on us? Who's Butler?
There were so many questions surrounding Farria's death. Did he think we wouldn't notice? He's killed Farria, one of my best agents, and knows where the others are. You know what must be done. Make it clean. Painless if you can. We were friends once.
It will be done.
I'm sorry you had to see that. Trust me. Everything I do is to protect our interests. Now, if you're happy, I have more work to do.
Okay.
Your kind killed the most holy.
Oh, Templars versus Mages again.
Lies. Your kind let her die. Shut your mouth, mage!
Enough!
Knight Captain.
That is not my title. We are not Templars any longer. We are all part of the Inquisition.
And what does that mean exactly?
Back already, Chancellor. Haven't you done enough?
I'm curious, Commander, as to how your Inquisition and its herald will restore order as you've promised.
Of course you are. Back to your duties, all of you.
Of course you are.
Mages and Templars were already at war. Now they're blaming each other for the Divine's death.
Which is why we require a proper authority to guide them back to order.
Who? You? Random clerics who weren't important enough to be at the Conclave?
The Rebel Inquisition and its so-called Herald of Andraste? I think not.
I don't know. The Inquisition seems about as functional as any young family.
How many families are on the verge of splitting into open warfare with themselves?
Yes, because that would never happen to the Chantry.
Centuries of tradition will guide us. We are not the upstart, eager to turn over every apple cart.
Cullen, why is he here?
Remind me why you're allowing the Chancellor to stay?
Clearly, your Templar knows where to draw the line.
He's toothless. There's no point turning him into a martyr simply because he runs at the mouth. The Chancellor's a good indicator of what to expect in Val Royeaux, however.
Is the Mage Templar war large?
How widespread is the violence between mages and Templars?
Impossible to say.
Your organization flouting the Chantry's authority will not help matters.
With the Conclave destroyed, I imagine the war between mages and Templars is renewed. With interest.
I'll return with good news.
I'll make sure they see reason in Val Royeaux.
I pray you're right.
Alright. I want to finish exploring Haven before I go to the next area. See what all I can find here, because I'm sure there's more goodies. Oh, there's something. The Randy Dowager Quarterly. The Randy Dowager welcomes the cool of autumn with the fall of another, the collected dreams of desire, being the confessions of an apprentice in training, more furrowing than harrowing, forbidden dalliances at their most spirited. The Randy Dowager exhibitions for the noble of thought, but spry of step. The lady herself says, enchanting. One supports the circles, if only because closed doors offer the imagination more. 3 scarfed fluttered in shock out of 5. I wonder if Varric wrote that. The book, not the review. Apothecary. Find recipes through exploration or by visiting merchants. Visit an apothecary with herbs you gather in the wilderness to upgrade potions. Use the equip station to assign different potions to each of your party members and to replenish the potions you're carrying. Use the upgrade station to unlock permanent upgrades to your potions.
Sick.
Look who's back from the dead. Again.
We bet?
I don't recall meeting you before.
I'd be surprised if you did. You weren't particularly coherent. Someone had to patch you up after you staggered out of making those wear, though. So, you're welcome.
I didn't realize. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you can pay me back by fixing the world.
You don't ask much.
I'm in charge of keeping our little band here stocked with potions and elixirs. Not that Seeker Pentagast seems to care whether we've got the supplies to actually do that.
How do I go about having potions made?
Just take a look there and tell me what you'd like. Find a recipe for something better, I can make that too.
Patient observations, day 2. Oh, this is when I was knocked out. Pulse normal, breathing normal, still unresponsive, careful drop feed of prep elf fruit extract to hasten recovery. Lot of thrashing. Mutters about too many eyes. Something about the gray? Encouraging? Is that when I was having the nightmares about the spiders? Upgrade potions. You can upgrade potions you've already unlocked. Upgraded potions, select a category, select a potion, then select the upgrade. Potion upgrades require a significant amount of herbs to unlock, and in return they give permanent and significant bonuses to your potions. So, I don't know any grenades yet. I don't know any tonics yet. Potions... We can make regeneration potions? Hold on. Every 26 health every 2 seconds for 60. So that's 30 pulses. So that's 260 times 3. So 600. 780 healing over 60. So double the healing, but it's overtime. That's pretty cool. Increase duration by 8 seconds. Increase healing by 3 per second. I'll save the other one for now. How do I equip regen potions? Oh, here we go. Equip potions. Oh, they go here. Oh, wait. They require... Okay, how do I... They use elf root. Do I have to do that for everybody? Yeah, they do. I like healing over time, though. I'll give everybody some of these. Not like I'm using the elf root for anything else right now. Alright, there's that. Oh, I got a quest complete for that, apparently. I don't know if I got XP or anything. Wait, I recognize that bald head. Solus, what are you doing out here?
Chosen of Andraste, a blessed hero sent to save us all.
Sounds dashing.
Am I riding in on a shining steed?
I would have
His
suggested
voice.
but sadly they're extinct.
Yeah, you like that.
Look as you will, posturing is necessary. I've journeyed deep into the Fade in ancient ruins and battlefields to see the dreams of lost civilizations.
He has a butt flap.
I've watched as hosts of spirits clash to reenact the bloody past in ancient wars, both famous and forgotten. Every great war has its heroes. I'm just curious what kind you'll be.
What do you mean ruins and battlefields?
Any building
Solus
strong enough
Bruce.
to withstand the rigors of time has a history. Every battlefield is steeped in death. Both attract spirits. They press against the veil, weakening the barrier between our worlds. When I dream in such places, I go deep into the Fade. I can find memories no other living being has ever seen.
What's your opinion of how Liliana has changed over the decades since Origins? I think it's cool. Like, it reminds me a bit of... shoot, what's her name? Black Widow? The lady that got turned into like a super dark assassin. You know, it's just like... She was just, you know, sweet and innocent, and then she's like, wow, bad things happen, you know, oh my god, and then she just ends up as just like a professional killer, and she's just like the dark side of the Chantry. Like, she basically feels that, you know, not everyone's going to repent, so we gotta sometimes take out evil people in order to make the world a better place, and she just gets kind of like really jaded. I don't know, it feels like a very real story surrounding her.
You fall asleep in the middle of ancient ruins. Isn't that dangerous?
I do set wards. And if you leave food out for the giant spiders, they are usually content to live and let live.
I've never heard of anyone going so far into the Fade. That's extraordinary.
Thank you. It's not a common field of study for obvious reasons. Not so flashy as throwing fire or lightning. The thrill of finding remnants of a 1,000-year-old dream? I would not trade it for anything. I will stay there. At least until the breach has been closed.
Was that in doubt?
I am an apostate mage surrounded by Chantry forces, and unlike you, I do not have a divine mark protecting me. Cassandra has been accommodating. But you understand my caution.
Cassandra trusts you. She won't let anyone put you into a circle against your will.
Thank you. I appreciate the thought. But now let us hope either the mages or the Templars have the power to seal the breach.
Okay. Seeing him made me realize I haven't seen Varric in town. He's got to be around here somewhere. Yes!
And you were sent to shame us for mistreating the elves.
Yes.
I pay my bills good and proper, you should know. Friend of the alien, you all, and... I mean, I'm Flisser. Can I get you a drink?
I'm not from an alien age. I'm Dalish.
Oh, right. Of course. Because of the things on your face.
Because of the things on your face.
I'm Flisser. The Inquisition soldiers needed a place to unwind, so Liliana brought me in to set up a tavern. Nothing fancy, but it's safer for the soldiers than looking for trouble in some village.
You said Liliana asked you to run an Inquisition tavern. How did you meet?
Dumb luck, maybe. I managed an inn back in Denerim. When I heard interesting gossip, I'd pass word to Liliana. Sometimes it's helpful. She asked if I wanted to own my own tavern, and I said yes. I didn't realize she meant this.
What can you tell me about this area?
Adan is Stephen's apothecary. He's been making potions and tending to the wounded as best he can. Harris is the Inquisition smith. Whatever he can make you, Thren the quartermaster can probably find. And for anything fancier, you can try buying from Segret. His prices aren't too high.
Segret? I don't know if I found Segret.
She studies beasts and things, as I understand.
Farewell.
Goodbye.
Okay. Oh. Tale of the Frostbacks. Oh boy. Even mountains had a heart once. When the world was young, Korth of Mountain Father kept his throne at the peak of the Belinus, the mountain at the center of the world, from which he could see all the corners of earth and sky. And he saw strong men become weak, brave men grow cowardly, and wise men turn foolish for love. Korth devised a plan that he might never be betrayed by his own heart, by taking it out and hiding it where no soul would ever dare search for it. He sealed it inside a golden cask, buried it in the earth, and raised around it the fiercest mountains the world has ever seen, the Frostbacks, to guard it. But without his heart, the Mountain Father grew cruel. His chest was filled with bitter mountain winds that shrieked and howled like lost souls. Food lost its flavor, music had no sweetness, and he lost all joy in deeds of valor. He sent avalanches and earthquakes to torment the tribes of men. Gods and men rose against him, calling him a tyrant, but with no heart, Korth could not be slain. Soon there were no heroes left, either among men or gods, who would dare challenge Korth. The Lady of the Skies sent her best of her children, the swiftest, cleverest, and strongest flyers, to scour the mountain for the missing heart, and for a year and a day they searched, but Sparrow and Raven, Vulture and Eagle, Swift and Albatross returned to her with nothing. Then the Ptarmigan spoke up and offered to find the god chief's heart. The other birds laughed, for the Ptarmigan is a tiny bird, too humble to soar, which spends half its time hopping along the ground. The lady would not give the little creature her blessing, for the mountains were too fierce, even for eagles, but the Ptarmigan set out anyway. The little bird traveled deep into the frostbacks. When she could not fly, she crawled. She hugged the ground and weathered the worst mountain winds, and so made her lonely way to the valley where the heart beat. With all the god's terrible deeds, the heart was far too heavy for the tiny bird to carry, so she rolled it, little by little, out of the valley and down a cliff, and when the golden cast struck the earth, it shattered. The heart was full almost to bursting, and the pain of it roused the mountain god to come see what happened. When Korth neared his heart, it leapt back into his chest, and he was whole again. Then Hakon Winter's Breath bound Korth's chest with 3 bands of iron and 3 bands of ice, so it could never again escape. And all the remaining gods named the Ptarmigan honored above even the loftiest eagles. I don't know what a Ptarmigan is, but I'm imagining it looks like a dodo bird. Oh, another thing here. The Singing Maiden. Have you ever heard the story of the King Bedwyr? Bedwyr, like most kings, was a man of great pride who expected nothing but complete loyalty from his subjects. He believed the best way to achieve this was through fear. After all, those who feared him would never cross him or question his rule. Most importantly, those who feared him would always seek to please him. Bedwyr cultivated terror in his subordinates through the gleeful and unrestrained use of a contraption referred to as the Maiden. The Maiden was a hinged iron casket, as high and wide and deep as a man with vicious spikes within, meant to pierce through the poor soul locked in. I was like, oh, an Iron Maiden. Bedwyr's maiden was a prized possession and stood in a place of honor in his throne room, often with a screaming victim inside it. Political rivals, suspected assassins, treasonous ministers, the maiden consumed them all. But as time passed, more people were given to the maiden for increasingly trivial offenses. The cook for oversalting the king's food, the page boy for dropping his sword, the maiden cast a pall over the kingdom, and its people prayed for deliverance from their cruel king. Then one day a strange woman rode into the city. She called herself Ember and was an emissary from a far-off land. Her leaders had heard, she said, of Bedwyr's wisdom and authority, and she sought the king's counsel. The thought that he had earned the adulation of brother kings across the sea made Bedwyr swell with pride, and he granted Ember an audience. They dined and danced, and through it all, Ember flattered and fawned on the king. At the end of the night, Ember asked to see the maiden, the infamous device that had given Bedwyr all his power. The king, giddy with praise, proudly presented Ember with the empty contraption. Ember looked at the maiden, sighed with disappointment, and said, "That does not look terrifying at all. I should have imagined the spikes to be much sharper." Bedwyr grew red at her comment and replied, "The spikes are sharp enough. Look at the blood that still clings to them." "But it is too small," said Ember. "Are only children and women its victims?" Bedwyr grew redder and still and replied, "Of course not. The maiden has devoured many men." Ember shook her head and said to the king, "I do not believe it. Surely no warrior could fear this thing. A man like yourself, tall and muscled, would not fit within." The king laughed and saw a way to prove the merit of the... Okay, I see where this is going. The merit of the maiden to Ember. "I will show you how easily a man like myself could fit," he said. And with that, he stepped into the device. But Ember was waiting, and no sooner had Bedwyr squeezed himself into the casket, she slammed it shut on him. Ember took the maiden with the screaming Bedwyr inside, through the castle, and down into the city. And the people, finally free from the king's tyranny, cheered and danced to the singing that echoed through the streets until Bedwyr was dead and it finally stopped. Wow! That was something. Spindleweed. Ah, there's our boy.
So, now that Cassandra's out of earshot, are you holding up all right?
Oh.
Being the most wanted criminal in Thedas to joining the armies of the faithful. Most people would have spread that out over more than one day.
None of this shit should have happened.
You don't know the half
He
of it.
approved.
For days now, we've been staring at the breach, watching demons and maker knows what fall out of it. Bad for morale would be an understatement. I still can't believe anyone was in there and lived.
I'm still not sure I believe that any of this is really happening.
If this is all just the maker winding us up, I hope there's a damn good punchline coming. You might want to consider running at the first opportunity. I've written enough tragedies to recognize where this is going. Heroes are everywhere. I've seen that. But the hole in the sky... That's beyond heroes. We're going to need a miracle.
Okay. Alright. Think...
Got the door again.
Can I help you with something?
Wait, did I need to talk to her? I had a quest
Let me
here.
go with you.
Oh, it was the requisition table, not her. Okay.
So we're heretics, just like that. Should we surrender? When there was no sky.
Wait, what?
You were the sky.
Loot.
You built for them the golden city, the center.
Research in the nave wishes to verify that the infections have
And
decreased.
for a time you dwelt.
Oh, the research table's in here. Oh, what?
The Inquisition cannot remain, Ambassador, if you can't prove it was founded on Justinian's orders.
This is an inopportune time, Marquis. More of the faithful flock here each day. But allow me to introduce you to the brave soul who risked his life to slow the magic of the breach. Master Lavelan, this is the Marquis d'Aurelion, one of Divine Justinia's greatest supporters.
And the rightful owner of Haven. House d'Aurelion lent Justinia these lands for pilgrimage. This Inquisition is not a beneficiary of this arrangement.
This is the first I've heard of Haven having an owner outside the Chantry.
My wife, Lady Machin of Denner, has claimed to Haven by ancient treaty with the monarchs of Ferelden. We were honored to lend its use to divine justice.
Why do you have a mask with a mustache? Can you not grow a mustache?
She was a woman of supreme merit. I will not let an upstart order remain on her holy grounds.
Interesting, considering the Inquisition was begun by the left and right hands of the Divine.
I've seen no written records from Sister Liliana or Seeker Pentagast that Justinia approved the Inquisition.
If you won't take her at her word, I'm afraid Seeker Pentagast must challenge him to a duel.
What?
It is a matter of honor among the Navarans. Shall I arrange the bout for tonight?
No. No.
She's like, all right, we'll fight you for it.
The Inquisition's presence was somewhat hasty.
We face a dark time, Your Grace. Divine Justinia would not want her passing to divide us. She would, in fact, trust us to forge new alliances to the benefit of all, no matter how strange they might seem.
I'll think on it, Lady Montilyet. The Inquisition might stay in the meanwhile.
I'm so pleased the Marquis isn't tossing us out into the cold.
His Grace is only the first of many dignitaries we must contend with.
You expect more people in Haven?
Undoubtedly. And each visitor will spread the story of the Inquisition after they depart. An ambassador should ensure the tale is as complimentary as possible.
What sort of dealings have you had with nobility?
For some years, I was the royally appointed court ambassador from Antiva to Orlais. The nobility of Thedas is a rather singular sphere. Those I'm not acquainted with, I know through reputation.
May I ask what brought you to work for the Inquisition?
Sister Liliana approached me. We've been acquainted for quite some time. For better or worse, being the Inquisition's diplomat has become as interesting as she promised.
The Inquisition is lucky to have you as an advocate, Lady Montilyet.
Thank you. Let us hope so. Thedas' politics have become agitated as of late. I hope to guide us down smoother paths. But please excuse me. I've much work to do before the day is done.
All right. Research.
We can use that.
All right, that gives me a bunch of XP.
You're the Herald. Or, well, the one they're calling the Herald, anyway. It's odd to see them accepting a mage as their hero. Especially a Dalish elf. One look at your face and it's clear you were never part of a circle. My name is Maeve. I research demons and other creatures. Seeker Pentagast and I use what I find to help the soldiers fight them.
I found something the demons left behind. Can you use it?
Yes, that's very helpful. Just leave it there and the Tranquil and I will examine it. You've brought back some fascinating things. We're putting them to good use.
You said Cassandra